Hey, if you're a dog owner here in Connecticut, you are in the right place. We're going to walk through how to find a really great local trainer, someone who can help your dog handle everything our state throws at them and become a happy, confident companion. So, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about why Connecticut-specific training is so important. Then, we'll get into different training styles, what to look for in a great trainer, the questions you absolutely have to ask, what to expect cost-wise, and finally, some local rules and resources you'll want to know about. All right, let's start with the big question. Why does training need to be specific to Connecticut? Well, because real-world training is so much more than just sit and stay. It's all about getting your dog ready for the actual situations they're going to face every single day, right here where we live. I mean, just think about our daily life here. It doesn't matter if you're navigating a busy town green or out in the quiet corner. Your dog has to be ready for all of it. A good local trainer gets this. They know how to prepare your dog for a crowded farmer's market, an icy sidewalk in February, or that moment a deer pops out on a hiking trail. Okay, so knowing those challenges is the first step. Next, you have to figure out the right training style for you and your dog. This is really about pinpointing what you need to work on because there's no single method that works for everyone. So, what's your main goal? Are you just starting out with a new puppy that needs to learn how to be around other dogs and people? Or are you trying to solve a specific problem, like your dog pulling on the leash or getting anxious when you leave? Nailing down your top priority helps you find the right kind of program.
This brings up a really common question. Should you do a group class or in-home training? Look, group classes are fantastic for teaching your dog to focus when there are other dogs and people around. They're a great value. But if the problem is happening in your house, like barking like crazy at the doorbell or surfing the counters for snacks, in-home training is probably your best bet. You're tackling the problem right where it happens.
All right, so you know your goals, you have an idea of the format you want. Now, what actually makes a dog trainer great? It's about more than just getting results. It's about how they get those results. That's what really matters. You're going to hear this term a lot, positive reinforcement. And all it means is using rewards, like a treat, some praise, or a favorite toy, to encourage the behaviors you want to see more of. It builds an incredible bond of trust and makes learning fun for your dog, instead of scary or stressful. So how can you tell if a trainer really knows their stuff? Well, you can look for certifications. I know, this looks like alphabet soup, but these letters are a really good sign. They show that a trainer has put in the work, studied, and is committed to professional, humane methods. For most general training, a CPD-TKA is great. If you're dealing with bigger issues like fear or reactivity, seeing a credential like CBCKA is a huge plus. Now that you know what to look for, you need to know what to ask. Think of this as your little guide for when you get a potential trainer on the phone or meet them in person. Here are 5 must-ask questions. First, ask them about their methods. You want to hear them talk about positive reinforcement. Definitely ask about their credentials and if they do any ongoing education. A great trainer will create a custom plan for your dog, not a one-size-fits-all approach. And, of course, make sure you're clear on how you'll track progress and what the total cost is going to be from the start. Speaking of costs, let's get into what you should expect to pay for professional dog training here in Connecticut. The prices can really range quite a bit, depending on the type of service and where you live. This table gives you a good snapshot for 2025. A group class that runs for about a month or so might be a few $100. A single private lesson will probably be somewhere over $100. If you buy a package of in-home visits, you'll see a pretty wide range there. And then the most intensive option, a board and train program, that's a serious investment, often running into the thousands. And here is a super important piece of local info. Where you are in Connecticut really matters. You're almost always going to see higher prices down in Fairfield County and closer to the New York border. Things tend to be a bit more moderate once you get into the eastern and northern parts of the state. All right, let's wrap up with our final section. Once you've started training, you need to know the rules of the road and have some great places to go practice all those new skills. These are some of the key things every Connecticut dog owner should know. Leash laws can be different from one town to the next, so it's always smart to check your local ordinance. And of course, every dog needs to be licensed in your town each year and have a current rabies vaccination. Oh, and if you love the shoreline, just remember that a lot of town beaches have dog restrictions during the summer. And when you're looking for places to practice, we've got some amazing spots. State parks like Sleeping Giant or Wadsworth Falls are perfect for working on leash manners with some real-world distractions. And for practicing recall in a safe, fenced-in area,
You can't beat a good dog park like Waveney in New Canaan or Rockwell in Bristol. The goal of all this isn't just to have an obedient dog. It's about building a confident, happy companion who can truly be part of your life. When you put in the work, you open up a whole new world for you and your dog, making everything from a simple walk downtown to a visit with your family so much more enjoyable for everyone.